Okay.
Hey.
Welcome back, everyone. Last we left,
Hello.
last we left off, you guys found a hand.
Not a
did.
sconce. Thought it was a sconce. Turns out it's a hand. Easy mistake to make, I'm sure.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Maybe. Yes, you found a hand with a scroll holding under the wagon, kind of wedged between the axle and the under storage where you keep your repair kits.
Despite Lantern's best attempts to leave the hand as intact as possible for question mark reasons, it did basically immediately fall apart.
Yes. It was there for a while. And there wasn't a whole lot you could really, save for Verostin levels of dumb luck, there wasn't much you could do to recover that limb.
Yeah, not too disappointed, but still a little disappointed.
I think everybody, though, here is probably relieved that you didn't run anyone over.
Yeah, actually, a relief to know that wherever that came from, it happened before we got the cart.
Oh, it's been there a while.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Lantern had buried it. I'm not going to question why she chose to bury it, but you know.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do with parts of dead guys, right?
She buried it in the middle of your parents' field, Fiona.
Yeah, I saw.
Actually, I buried it by the side of the road, thank you very much. Near your parents' fields.
That's any better. But, you know.
Yeah, no.
Well, you guys have a scroll. Does anybody remember what it was? Because you did identify it.
Dimension door.
Yep.
Okay. Just checking.
Gonna be honest, raises a lot of questions for me personally.
All of the questions.
Why they didn't use it to escape.
How
I
did they
don't know.
get to that situation without it?
Where did he come from? Where did he go?
Yes, Cotton Eye Joe questions.
Exactly. Alright. What are you guys doing?
Currently typing out a sending message. Fellows is going to send to Zeke and say finish.
Okay. Spell slot or sending so?
Sending stone.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I'm trying to remember. Why did we go out to the fields again?
Because that's where the wagon was parked.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, you were given permission to park the wagon on the Bell family's land.
Right.
And you are currently storing the hyenas in a barn house.
I think Lantern is going to check on them, make sure they still have plenty of food and water and are not curious about things. You know, give them some big soup bones to chew on.
They are more or less doing okay.
Fantastic. Again, we're going to make sure that there's is nothing that they're going to want to go out searching for.
I mean, that's a whole other situation, but they're doing okay.
Oh, that's. I mean, I want all of the things that I could basically imagine them needing to be within their reach, so they don't need to go out and look for them.
I suppose that depends on how strong the barn doors are.
Oh dear.
They're still there.
Again, it's more about making sure they don't need to, because hyenas, like most carnivores, are lazy. They will not usually cause too much problems if they don't get bored or want something that isn't there.
Very true.
All right, that should be 25 words exactly.
I had to read it out.
Okay. Vellos is sending the following message to Zeke through the sending stone. Zeke, found lead on Lana. He's traveling with brethren and heading to Mole Mill Well. Unsure of final destination. Will follow and try to catch up.
You get a response, rather, let's see here. It's about mid. What time is it?
Midday sounds about right. We've been
midday.
exploring the town and talking with Fiona's parents for a while. So
Yeah, so it's probably about late afternoon. You hear quite quickly back from the sending zone. Fuck! Ow! Hot! Okay, thanks to know. Ow!
Vellos just bursts out laughing at the.
Bruno gives him a look. What's with the chuckles?
I think I surprised my brother when he was handling something hot.
Oh dear. That's the kind of thing that is ideal to do with siblings.
But now he knows what we know about Lana, so
That's good.
So I don't know that it would occur to Lantern to tell anybody this, but once she is satisfied with the condition of the hyenas and the, she's taken a good smug look at the sign now hanging on the cart, I think she would be very interested in visiting the magic store that we heard about where it was earlier. The one that you guys visited, owned by Fiona's old friend.
Yeah, I can show you where that is, but I'll stay outside because I seem to scare the living daylights out of Lawrence.
Well, you are very tough.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Oh well, I'm sure he'll get over it.
Some year.
It's not like he didn't earn it. Anyway. If anybody else wants to go to the magic shop, I can show you all where it is. It was next to the general store.
Which, as a heads up, that is a general goods store. It's not a place where you're going to find food, except for that little treats table.
Dori will tag along. She doesn't like being left out of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then once you guys are done with the magic shop, we can go find the guy in that shack.
Bruno will stick with Dori.
Yeah. Bruno doesn't trust Dori as far as he can throw her.
You two don't seem to trust each other very much. It's what it seems like.
Well, there is that. We both have watched the other one as we've grown up.
Is this like
And
another sibling thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
We're just not actually siblings, but we might as well be.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right, so Fiona leads them all back to the magic shop. At least anyone that's coming. Don't know what Vellos is doing.
He's got nothing better to do right now. Might as well take along.
Sounds like
Lantern is kind of bouncing with anticipation on her feet as she moves.
And you're coming along with Grigori?
Yeah, I'm gonna come tag along and look out and look for an archery shop kind of place.
Fletcher's?
Fletcher's. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes, no problem at all. While you guys are walking along, go ahead and give me a Grigori, go ahead and give me a perception check since you're just kind of looking around as you follow the group.
Sure.
Caffeine.
Oh shit. If I remember right, I don't have anything in perception, so it's. I think. Do I? Oh shit! I need to go. Give me 1 second. I forgot to log into my thingy.
Oh.
That's right. Well, while you're doing that, it's not a long walk back to the magic shop. It's a little closer to the center of this part of town. But it's there. It's not really named, but it's there.
Does it have any signage or anything?
It does have signage.
Okay.
Yes.
It just says magic shop or something.
It's just a pictographic signage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Lantern is going to stride into the store like she owns the place. Look around. Sort of inspect
Yes.
what she can see in the shelves. And then walk up to the counter and in a gesture that would probably be much more imposing if she didn't have to stand up on tiptoes to get her chin up above counter level, she looks the shopkeeper straight in the eye and says, "What's the shiniest thing you got?"
Okay, who all is watching Lantern?
Fiona is staying outside this time.
Bruno.
Okay. I need to double check something real quick. Because every time I think kobolds, I think Forgotten Realms kobolds, but we aren't in the Forgotten Realms. Okay, similar structure. Okay, Lantern, how tall are you?
3 foot even.
Guys, what you're watching is something along the lines of an Eldritch horror kind of spectacle as Lantern shifts on her legs, starts to straighten them out and take on a more proper Digigrad stance as she adds an extra 8 inches to her height in order to rest her chin onto the countertop. It's not a comfortable stance, but you will straighten out your legs.
She is also gripping onto the end of the counter with her hands because she is very worried that if she does not, she is going to fall on her butt.
That is a very accurate fear, even with your tail for balance.
Dori will smile benevolently at this image.
I think Vellos was trying not to chuckle.
Mind you, for something as short as Lantern, that's a significant amount of extra height.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it is presumably startling to those who have never seen her do it before, which is all of you.
Yeah, it's safe to say the entire party. So, which even surprises the poor donkey manning the counter as he's like, the Chinese thing I have, Is there any specific function you're after?
Shininess, she says resolutely.
He starts to kind of look around for a moment before coming out from behind the counter. And wait, I think I know. Yes, here it is. He says, swiping a candle off from one of the higher shelves. This is a candle that doesn't it doesn't. The wax and wick doesn't melt or burn.
Ooh, it's a forever candle.
Yes.
This definitely has her attention. And she inspects it as closely as he is holding it, pretty much.
He does hold it down low enough for you to see it, while kind of shooting a glance at the door. A bit of a nervous glance.
Like he might see a silhouette outside that he doesn't like the look of at all.
Oh no, he's already heard who Fiona's traveling with.
Fiona would not be in the doorway or close enough to the doorway to be seen. She'd be leaning on one of the walls outside.
Got it. He just knows by reputation.
Yes, he's already heard about who Fiona's traveling with, and the paranoia is through the roof.
So,
Well,
a question that is very important for Lantern's purposes is, of course, what color is it? Just normal candle color?
It's normal candle color. It's normal candle color made from beeswax.
Okay, it's she inspects it visually. She sniffs it, like from a couple inches away, obviously, because he's presumably not holding it that close. Actually turns her ear towards it, like she's trying to hear the candle.
And now
Before
this one
saying-
starts to confuse him.
Before saying, how much for the forever candle?
5 gold.
Never before has anyone slapped 5 gold down on a countertop that fast. Like, as soon as 5 gold is out into the air, the coins are slapped onto the table.
Oh. Okay. With his hands over the candle and kind of swipes, kind of just slides the coins over to his side of the counter.
Lantern chants, yes, to herself while she takes the candle.
Alright, this is an ever-burning candle. It provides 5 feet of bright light around the user, or around the surrounding tiles, and then 5 feet of dim light past that. This isn't illuminating much, but it's a candle.
Well, good if she wants to read something late at night.
Indeed.
This I'm assuming is not a super large candle, and it could fit into your standard candle lantern without much difficulty, right?
Yes.
You guys hear Lantern's giggling echo into the street with increasing intensity as she removes the lantern that has been dangling from her horn this entire campaign with nothing in it.
Yep, I saw that one coming as soon as you asked about whether it would fit.
I thought that was
Yep.
an oil. I thought that was an oil lantern. That explains so much.
No, that's why it's never been lit. It's an empty candle lantern. There's been nothing in it the whole time.
That's a candle sconce. Okay.
Hmm.
Fiona is very confused by the giggling.
I have a candle now. Like, not just like a normal candle. I wouldn't be this excited about just a regular candle because I can get, like, a lot of those. But this one, though.
While Lantern is giggling over her purchase, Dori has been looking through the store. Is there anything resembling, or that she can see, any kind of musical instrument?
Resembling a what?
Musical instrument. You know, lutes,
Give me an
flute,
investigation
drums.
check. As a lot of what this guy seems to have are things you use around the house.
Yeah. Investigation?
Yes. And while you're doing that, over to Grigori. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. No, you're not seeing any instruments.
Okay.
Alright, now over to Grigori. You are able to
Okay.
spot a Fletcher's shop.
Ooh.
It's a... You would have to disconnect yourself from the group a little bit to head over to it, but it's not exactly an egregious situation.
Okay. I am going to do that.
Okay. As you approach the you know, I'm just gonna grab props. Oh, I'm not supposed to be on that. That's funny. Oops. Anyways, here. So it's one of the shops where it doesn't really have a door that closes. It's this kind of a workshop where the front is open.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Do I see anybody in there behind the counter
Yes,
or
you do
anything like that?
see a couple of. You do see a couple of people. There's who are busy shaping a few more standard hunting bows, while also a few other people building arrows. It's a somewhat busy operation, which is unsurprising.
Nice. Okay. One of them that looks like the worker or cashier or whatever. I'm gonna go up to him and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
The man sets down what he was the man sets down the arrows he was working on, very delicately letting the after binding the feathers to the arrows to let a glue set. As he looks up, greetings. How can I help you?
Hello. I am looking for a new bow.
A new bow. Is there something that happened to your old one?
I still got it. I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull it out. So I still got it, but I need something a little more stronger, if you know what I mean.
You're looking for a. What do you have?
I have a light crossbow.
Crossbow. Okay. Well, there is. He looks over to the rack of longbows against the wall. Looking for something with a little more punching power.
Or maybe multi-shot? Wink, wink.
You looking for what?
A bow of multi-shot,
It's
possibly.
That's a little more complex of a mechanism than anything we make here.
Damn. Okay. Would you know someone that could make one of those, or have one by chance?
You might want to check either if you're depending on which direction you're traveling. You may want to check either. I hate to point people in this direction, but Mansque. Otherwise, if you're headed south, Louvain or Patry might be your better bets.
Do I actually know where they are since I've seen the map and all that, or no?
Yes, Fiona has the few times, or the several times Fiona's gone over the map. Everybody has been included in going over her maps.
Okay, I'm just double checking. Okay,
Yeah, so you would
just
know
make sure my
that
character knows that.
you would have an idea that where Louvain and Patry would be.
Yeah.
Along with that, you'd
Okay.
also have an idea as to where the astral shadow is.
Oh. Okay.
And you specifically would know that that is a tear in a bit of a tear in reality leading to the astral sea.
I actually know that. That's
Yes,
pretty
you
cool.
would know that because you came through that.
Yes. Is that on the way? We're going to Petri, right?
Yeah,
or is
you're
it
in
Momil
Patry's.
Well? Going to Petri. Okay.
No, the party. Which way did you guys decide to go first?
Mole
Mole Mill Well.
Momil Well, that's what I thought, yeah.
Well, then,
And then we're
Patry.
talking Louvain. I didn't think we were going to Patry.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, we're on the path of Toro's, or not, of Vellos' sister at the moment.
Yeah.
So I
And
guess
that's our
wherever
big
your
thing
lead
right
takes you.
Yeah. No idea where we'll be headed after Mobile Well.
Yep.
At least not yet.
Okay. Just a second. Is he a friend of yours? Do you want to give me a name and say, hey, this guy sent me?
I don't know anyone myself there, but
Okay. Okay.
general idea that if you're looking for something with a bit more either magically or mechanically designed to launch multiple arrows, you probably want to best check in those areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As
That works for me.
As you kind of look around, Grigori, despite the size of this town, it still holds on to its more simplistic farmer's roots.
Okay.
More advanced items like that might not be here.
Yeah. Is there anything stronger than a light bow here? Or a light crossbow? Sorry.
Well, on a quick look around, there is what almost looks like a ballista on one of the shelves. Or, not on one of the shelves, hanging from a wall rack.
A ballista?
It almost looks like one, but it's definitely meant for somebody to use by hand.
Would I even be able to carry that?
It's a heavy crossbow on closer examination, so it's more a case of are you proficient with a heavy crossbow?
Shit, that's a good question. I don't remember. No, I am not.
Okay.
Crossbow, long swords, rapier, short swords. Nope, I'm not.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. That would be pretty cool to have, but oh well, okay. I'm like, well, thanks for the information. Wave, and I'm gonna go back to the party.
Alright. So you, without your anything, heads back to rejoin with the rest of the party, which is easy to track down with lanterns giggling.
She also keeps sort of so the lantern is hanging from the horn that is on top of and on the side of her head, and that is not stopping her from twirling in what has been a roughly 3-minute circle now, trying to see it with her with her eyes while it's on her. Like she's walking in a circle trying to do something that cannot be done. It's like a donkey with a carrot on a stick.
Oh well.
She's easy to find, is all I'm saying.
Oh dear.
What are the rest of you doing?
Fiona is enjoying watching Lantern spin in circles while she waits for everyone else to finish up in the shop.
Lantern has
Yeah.
generated a small crowd.
Yeah, once Dori has discovered that there is nothing resembling a musical instrument in this shop, she's left the shop and is also enjoying the sight of Lantern enjoying herself.
Bruno will take a quick look around himself for a musical instrument just to see if Dori missed one.
Okay.
Is that investigation for me as well, or
Yes.
perception?
Investigation.
Alright. That's what I thought. Come on, here we go. Okay, 16.
After some digging and rooting around, you aren't really finding anything. You find a pair of cymbals after a little while, but you're not sure you want to entrust anybody with those.
Bruno would not trust. That's the only two he'd be willing to give them to. Unless he was out of his mind drunk.
The fact that there are two people you would be willing to give them to
Lantern.
is heartwarming.
Lantern's about the only other one that he's currently willing to acknowledge giving a gift to.
And I don't think he would, under any circumstances, want to give her a pair of goddamn cymbals.
No, he liked his ears working and mostly tinnitus free, thank you very much.
Yep.
And Dori doesn't need the symbols to give him tinnitus.
I always thought it was tinnitus.
So
It
did I.
probably is. I just can't pronounce for shit. And I was blanking on the punctuation, so thank you for telling me.
Yeah, it is tinnitus.
Okay, thank you.
Ooh.
Okay, well, deciding not to entrust anybody with the percussions.
Yeah, potentially magical, because we're in a magic shop, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely not trusting anyone with magical.
You do notice the crate of discount scrolls next to the counter while you're in there.
Yeah, no.
The most expensive item being a singular gold coin.
Nope. Trusted anyone here with that kind of stuff.
Oh well. Alright, Bruno walks out like he's expecting to get attacked by by paperwork. Probably muttering nopes about the discount scroll box.
Nope, about the symbols.
Either one.
He doesn't tell anyone this, but
You look like you've seen a ghost.
he leans in and whispers so that only Vellos will hear. Lantern plus symbols. The musical instrument.
Vellos gives him a visible shudder.
Oh, come on, you guys. It'll be fine.
Our ears
It's like
would
they don't trust
disagree.
you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Ah, well. Okay, everyone's back together. You've left Lawrence's shop.
Much to his relief.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Probably. Now, what is your plan?
I believe our next destination was to find the shack or hut or wherever it was that one guy was living in.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pay him a visit.
wolf novel.
Yeah.
Yep.
See
Okay.
what the deal is with him.
Okay, so you gonna ask for directions, or are you going to look for him on your own?
I'm debating if Fiona can ask for directions in her own hometown.
Well, she hasn't been to this place, has she? Or
No.
No, not wherever this guy is. He's new. He
Yeah.
came after she left town. But it's like charisma -2. But it's her hometown.
I will say it is your hometown.
It is. So I think Fiona is going to ask for directions. Since it wouldn't think to her that anyone would, they might look annoyed with her, but I don't think they wouldn't tell her she's from town.
Go ahead and give me just give me a straight charisma check.
Just straight, no modifiers?
Yeah.
Okay. That's still a -2.
That's fine.
Rolling them bones.
Thick.
Okay, so as you're walking around town looking for people to ask, you find yourself in a situation where it's not that you can't ask people for directions, but rather you can't get out of the loop of people asking about your adventures. From people who live on the other side of town you've probably seen only once or twice, to old friends who haven't changed much despite the years you've been gone.
Another
Oh,
factor making it worse is that you have a little tiny red hype man absolutely corroborating everything they ask. Like, is it true that you oh yes, and while she was there she punched a man so hard that he fell over immediately.
Fiona You can feel Vellos grinning behind you.
Vellos, you're also something of a sign of attention. Actually, so is Grigori. But for similar reasons. Nobody here has seen a bat. No one here has seen a dragon.
I'm gonna lean against and go, "What's up?"
Ah.
And as you're stuck
It's
in
becoming
this... As you're
Quickly apparent, she's stuck in a loop.
Yes, and as you're stuck in this loop, you find yourself soon... Well, the whole party really finds themselves soon facing a group of 4 individuals. Bright-eyed, literally bushy-tailed. One of them is wearing a brand new set of chain. Clearly has his father's sword.
Oh dear.
Fiona, you know them. You've seen... Well, you kind of know them. You've seen them like 3 or 4 times in your life.
Yeah.
Friendly enough individuals. And they've come here asking for you. They've come here explaining that they were going on their first delve. They planned to go there yesterday, but had caught wind your group was coming into town.
Oh.
And so they wanted to essentially meet their inspiration.
Oh my god.
A lupin, an ovine, a horse, and a squirrel.
What have you been writing back home, Fiona?
I have been writing to my parents. What they have told to everybody else is their own prerogative. Just basics about the adventure.
Yeah,
That's all.
They can be, you know, the more of this I see, the more I'm kind of scared to go home.
Yeah, well, welcome to a city where most everyone knows everyone.
Well,
I'm
actually,
scared-
I don't have that because I'm from an actual city.
I am scared to go back
Uh-huh.
home because there was this big lizard that ate like half the kobolds there.
Everyone
You
could
okay,
tell right away
Lantern?
this was an exaggeration.
Huh. That seemed pretty unfortunate, Lantern.
I think it was half. I wasn't very good at numbers when it happened, so it's hard to say, but it sure seemed like a lot of them.
But anyways, the ovine pulls out a small booklet and excitedly asks for your group's signatures.
Fiona has no reason to refuse. These are good kids.
Well, kids is hard to say. They're definitely young adults.
Oh, yeah. They were good kids. From what she remembers of them.
Dori's blinking at this.
Fellow seems more amused than anything.
If somebody hands her something to sign, there is no force on the planet that would stop Lantern from signing it.
Lantern
No.
is being offered something to sign.
Well, then they learn that this kobold in particular signs her name like she learned how to sign her name out of a book and has been desperate to show off to somebody how cool she can sign her name.
Grigori, you're also offered to sign the book. The entire party is.
Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
gonna pass.
Okay.
Little sign.
Dori will sign.
Vellos will sign.
Little dejected that Grigori didn't sign, but spirits are not dampened after Vellos signs.
They got the signature of the dragon.
Exactly.
Lantern would agree with their estimation of who the important one to get the signature from is.
And with everyone's signatures, they announced that they were heading to a spooky barn house that showed up on the far northwest part of the plot.
You guys be careful, okay?
We will.
Take your time, and if you need to take breaks between floors, if there's multiple floors, do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It
And
gets
remember,
And then Fiona will give them all a thumbs up.
There's a little pause
got
of thought
this.
on multiple floors.
and remember,
Huh.
if it's too much, there's no shame in running. It's not worth your
Yeah.
life.
running is a valuable skill to learn.
That
Know your
actually
limits.
That actually gets the group to pause and think for a moment before nodding and discussing among themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
And the four of them thank you for the advice on no shame in retreating.
Indeed.
And with that, they head off. And Fiona, you find yourself back in the loop of, hey, have you seen me? Fiona, it's been so long. How are you doing?
At this point, Fiona is pinching the bridge of her nose. Between groups, not while she's talking to a group.
As you find yourself unable to just flat out ask the one question.
Yeah. Dori, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a word in. Can you?
Sure. Dori will
Thanks.
pick one of the people who looks like they'd be more willing to talk to her.
All right, go ahead and give me a. Oh. Well, as you're looking around, you see It's a little surprising, but you see a fairly sharply dressed Lupin kind of wandering the market district, looking at the various produce selections.
Okay. Dori will walk up to them and say, "Excuse me. I'm
He looks
traveling
up to
with
you.
I've been traveling with Fiona Bell from in town here, and there's a shack with a wolf."
He lets out a light chuckle. I wouldn't quite call it a shack. Maybe a small cabin, but that's a little
Okay.
mean.
Well, I don't really know. This
This
is a
guy
lot more
definitely-
rural than I'm used to, so I'm a city girl.
I'm a bit of a city lad myself too. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you could give us directions. Fiona looks a little, and she'll look over at Fiona in the midst of all of the people who are talking to her. Fiona's a little distracted.
I can tell town's been a little buzz of activities since yesterday, really. Guessing you guys were the ones about it.
Yeah, it's been. I'm kind of scared to go home now, to be honest.
Where are you from?
Louvain, bigger city, but
I wouldn't worry
not so
about
much
it.
the city. I'm not so much worried about the city in general, but my neighborhood.
Nosy
The
neighbors. No,
block that I'm in.
I understand completely with the nosy neighbors. That's why I came here to Golden Tide after all.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
So, could you help us out
I most
with
certainly
directions to this
could.
cabin?
In fact, I was about to head home myself once I was finished shopping here.
Oh, is it close to where you live?
Would the class like to share what they're giggling over?
Pretty sure I know who this guy is, and also where the owner of the house is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Dori's a little oblivious to that. You know, she was assuming it was she was going to have to go through about a dozen people to get somebody who even knew where the place was.
Like, given that the main information that we've been told about the owner is that it is a fancily dressed wolfman.
And
Yeah,
the first
okay.
question she asks is
Fancily
about
dressed
it.
wolfman who is like, "Oh, come on, Shaq, come on."
And she suddenly, all of this finally hits her and goes, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive. Would you mind if we tagged along with you once we drag Fiona out of her
Of course. He
fascinated fan base there?"
Says, of course, he says, kind of holding back a chuckle.
She grins. And as long as I have, first off, excuse me, have you finished your shopping, or
About
am I
almost done.
interfering?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Because I've got questions.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Dori.
Wait a minute. He knows my name?
Didn't you just give your name while you were saying that you were traveling with Fiona?
I don't know. Did I?
Even if you didn't. Yes, he knows.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My name's Ruben. Word
Ruben!
gets around this town quickly.
Yeah, it's impressive. And between Fiona and Vellos, we seem to collect quite a crowd.
Seems like it.
Vellos, yes, Vellos is our dragon, so he seems to attract attention.
Seems like it
I
could
was-
get attention.
Yeah, if you look over, you can see Vellos is actually looking a little uncomfortable at this point.
Lantern is pantomiming something which appears to be the Bladeling's role in Fiona punching a Bladeling to death.
Fiona keeps trying to get out of the crowd, but it keeps failing.
It's not so much a crowd more than you keep trying to step away from one person and then, oh, there's someone else you knew.
There's Farmer McGregor, here to ask you if the big city toilets are that different, like he's been hearing all this time.
The answer is plumbing is amazing.
Yes, they're actually a lot more amazing than you would come to expect.
Vellos, how much attention are you giving to the crowd? That's the actual, like, small crowd of people who keep stopping to look at you.
Well, he's not going to be rude and try to brush people off. You
were definitely in a situation where you were the first dragon a lot of people have seen.
Yeah, I'd say he's trying to be polite, but he's definitely looking for an escape at this point.
Nope, you have several venues of escape, and you're not being crowded in.
Yeah, he's
And come to realize that despite her annoyance at being stopped, Fiona seems to have a lot more patience than you.
Well, these are people she knows.
Grigori, you're in somewhat of a similar boat as Vellos. People often stopping to either look at you or actually greet you with some interest.
Cool. Okay. I'm just gonna sit down at the table with the group.
Okay. Well, you guys are kind of standing out in the road right now, so.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna follow the group.
Okay. Kind of just enjoying the attention.
More or less, yeah.
That's fair.
I will say, Grigori, you can tell that if half of the things Lantern is telling these people are true, Fiona is not somebody you want to get into a fist fight with ever.
At the first game, I kind of put two and two together.
After a few moments, Ruben is done with his own shopping for the day and is giving you guys the escape route you've been wanting.
Yeah,
which
Dori will say
Vellos
some.
eagerly takes.
As,
Fiona will steer Lantern away.
Goodbye, Mr. Fiona's neighbor.
As when people see you're now kind of following Ruben, there is a bit of a change in demeanor. People are a bit more polite and giving you some breathing room.
Fiona takes a deep centering breath.
As the group is led south down one of the roads, it's a couple of minutes walk through some fields until you're brought up to along the road a very nicely put together cabin.
This is charming.
This is nice.
It took me a little while to get things put together before I could move in.
Mm.
Definitely better than how everyone else in town was describing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think their wariness is tainting their
Objectivity.
Yes.
It's a little bit. I don't fault people around here. Different people have different opinions on things. He says as he opens up the door and offers... he steps inside first before offering everyone else to come in.
Fiona
Hey
will
man, if he's offering, Lantern's not delaying. She loves when people invite her to things.
The interior is a fairly cozy environment. He has his hearth, a small table, a larger table up against the wall, shelves full of books and various other things. There's another door leading to there's another closed off against the wall.
Vitally important question from Lantern. Does the hearth have one of those hooks for hanging a kettle of soup in?
It's currently occupied by a teapot.
She nods deeply approvingly at that.
And it is held up high enough to be away from the fire. So it's not currently in use.
You gotta have it adjustable.
Of course. On the larger of the two tables, the one against the wall, it appears to be a desk taken over by various glass jars of things and several notes.
Okay.
Dori will look over at this and say, "Are
Okay.
you a scientist as well?" What I had heard is that you're a bard, but are you a scientist as well?
So, like, the word you guys would use would probably be scholar, not scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scholar.
The antiquated term is natural philosopher.
Yes.
Not quite. Just, I would not say I'm more of this. Well, I guess I would say, if only to be humble, I'm definitely probably more of a scholarly sort. But he says, as he kind of cleans things up on his table.
Yeah, Dori's trying very hard not to poke and read stuff, but
It's
she's clearly curious.
should your curiosity get the better of you and sneak a peek, what you see is a lot of sketches and a lot of nature sketches at that.
Ah, okay.
The jars and
Lantern, who is not polite enough not to be nosy, would probably immediately say something out loud along the lines of, "Ooh, a yellow-breasted warbler." Or, whatever
Yeah.
local bird.
Yeah. And the jars themselves seem to contain some taxidermy to animals in them. Or preserved insects.
Yeah.
Oh, that gave Lantern an idea for pickles that you guys are going to be unhappy that she came up with.
Oh, dear.
Oh no! Oh
Not my
no!
problem.
Oh no.
As your gaze shifts over to the shelf, you see, or the shelves, you see assortments of paints.
Tanks?
Paints.
Oh, paints.
Yes, assortments of paints, paintbrushes, some kind of feline skull, stacks of canvas, a few different books.
You'll look over at him. You're an artist?
Yes, no, I'm quite the painter.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'd heard you were a bard, so I guess your medium is paint.
Yes. Never was really musically talented myself.
Ah. That is kind of wriggles. I'm a musical bard myself. I heard, and I'm very curious because I haven't really spoken to anyone else who does this, but I was given to understand that you work with ghosts.
I do on the occasion. I do more than just work with ghosts.
And he now has her full, and she's now visibly giving him her full attention. She's been focused on him the whole time, but she's now visibly giving him her full attention.
Well,
Really?
it's-
How so? So far, I've only really just interacted with them, I guess. I mean, they help us out.
That's usually about as far as Delvers tend to go, from what I've seen. No, I have the tools to better commune with ghosts themselves.
Really?
Yes.
How so? If I may ask. Now, you can tell me if I'm overstepping, but I'm very curious. On several levels, I'd very much like to
Yes.
become more in tune with the
You're starting to
ghosts
become
of
distant and quiet.
Hmm?
You're starting to sound distant and quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's I don't want to be. I don't want to push, but I would very much like to become more in tune, more able to communicate with ghosts.
Okay. It's understandable. There's a lot to learn speaking to... There's a lot to learn speaking to them. However, a lot of it is work you'll have to do yourself. Though there are some tools outside of just your instruments. Or just your medium, I should say, when it comes to getting the attention of and communing with ghosts.
Really?
Yes, there's a few spells and a few other, well, somewhat dangerous, more complicated rituals that one could perform.
I know there's a ritual to take you into. Hang on, I have to look up the name of this. Because I don't remember what it is. The Netherworld. I know there's a way to get there.
Yes, the Netherworld. There are ways
never
to
quite
get
had the
there.
courage to do so.
That's understandable and fair if you haven't built up the courage to get to not breach through. It is definitely where the danger comes in. You should always have somebody with you when you're going to perform such rituals. Simply to keep an eye on from this side of the door.
Uh-huh.
As Ruben and Dori are talking, what's everyone else doing?
Getting closer and closer to the sketches of the pretty birds or plants or animals. Very slowly, almost imperceptibly, like a glacier.
The sketches have been cleaned up and moved outside of your reach, but there are paintings on the walls.
Then I am very closely looking at those.
Everyone else?
Just keeping an eye and watching the conversation.
Vellos is listening to the conversation. He seems curious about what they're talking about.
Okay.
Grigori is going to ask if he can make a cup of tea.
Ruben would pause in the conversation and he would nod as he goes to set up the pot for tea.
Nice. I'm going to wait for tea.
Fiona?
She's making notes on how normal things are, that he seems to mostly study nature. You know, things
Okay.
to tell the town so that they'll stop, isolating the guy.
Hey, don't worry, he's just a painter. He's just eccentric.
Nothing on the
That,
shelves catching interest?
I mean, she'd probably glance at things, but I don't think there's anything that would really catch her eye.
Then roll me a perception check.
All right. Since her parents did tell her to,
Yeah.
Nobody in town knows what to make of the guy. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20. As you're looking around, your eyes do slowly drift back to the feline beast folk skull that's on the shelf, and you realize that there's a hole through the top of the skull that looks like something had broken through from the inside.
Oh. From the inside of the skull out?
Looks like it went through one of the eye sockets and then out through the top.
Ooh. I guess Fiona would wait for a break in the conversation between him and Dori. Not really wanting to interrupt since Dori's getting information that she needs. And just kind of ask about what happened to that guy.
Okay.
Like, how does one get a... Ow.
Alright. While he's going to set tea, there is a lull in the conversation there.
Yeah, so she'd probably bring it up then.
As you turn your back from the skull and go to ask him that, Ruben only glances up at you as Fiona, from behind you, you get your answer in... Yeah, the last thing I heard was careful, that floor looks unstable.
Fiona does that slow turn back to where the voice came from.
As you slowly turn around, a spectral cheetah has manifested at head level where the skull was.
What the?
I wish I had
Ruben
his
just
body
kind
now.
of shakes his head a little bit, like this is ordinary for him.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be overly exciting
This
to
is-
Dori either, other than just the specific.
Dori, for you, the exciting thing would be the fact that a ghost has manifested itself.
Okay, yeah.
Fiona points at this cheetah and goes, "It's the first time a ghost has talked to me. I've seen the ghosts. When Dori is asking them to help us, first time any of them have spoken. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Town is understandably nervous about the new guy, and so, being from town, but also constantly going into dangerous places, they're like, hey, can you see what's going on with the new guy? We're all confused, but also curious, but also concerned. So,
That's fair. People are always scared of witches.
Yep.
But
my parents
Oh, are
brought
they?
up... My parents brought up ghosts and seeing you. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, me and Ruben go way back.
All right.
Well, kind of. That doesn't matter.
Dori,
I mean,
you are at exactly the right angle to see Lantern scribble down in her notes. People are usually afraid of witches, and underlines afraid 3 times.
Did you meet Ruben before or after you met your accident?
Ruben kind of just lets out a sigh. Like, a sort of a here we go again sigh.
Well, to be fair, Fiona's meat is asking the cheetah, not Ruben.
Yes. As the cheetah speaks
That's
up,
the issue.
well, I met him before. Far
Okay.
enough to say we were siblings.
Fiona looks at Bruno.
Far enough to say we were actually siblings.
No, we know all about that, don't we, Bruno?
Yep.
You two related as well, then?
Not by blood.
Oh,
Might as well be, though.
Siblings of
I-
other mothers.
I meant we were actually siblings.
Oh.
Huh?
Huh?
All of you
Okay.
would understand that, except for maybe Vellos and Grigori.
And Lantern, who does not understand anything
And
about how you
Lantern, and
mammals
Lantern.
work.
That when it comes to beast folk, if you have, let's just give the immediate example of a wolf father and in this case, cheetah mother, it's a 50-50 which way the offspring turn out as either a wolf or a cheetah.
Ah.
The only
Ah,
exceptions
okay.
to this rule are dragons will never beget dragons outside of their species, and jackals always beget jackals.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Alrighty.
So this is nothing to be confused by.
Okay.
Siblings.
Mm.
I have no experience with siblings, so
Unfortunate.
Yes, I do. And then I've got Bruno.
Yeah.
So I guess the best answer to the question. We were poking around Petri during the Reconstruction period. You know, post-war, everybody's still nervous about the humans. We were wanting to check things out. Looking
Uh-huh.
around the abandoned district. When I learned two things rather quickly. When a human says rebar is sharp, you believe them. And when they say, hey, that floor looks unstable, you believe them.
Oh dear.
Little too late
Yeah,
to
I'm
no,
so
those
sorry.
sounds like those sounds like things you'd want to believe on principle until proven otherwise. Actually,
Little too late to put things into practice.
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Sorry to hear
good to
that.
meet you.
Yes, it is. So you kind of hang out and help your brother, or?
Help, annoy, get attention from him.
Typical sibling stuff. Then.
He
Ah,
nods. He gives a quick nod at that, with that disappears.
just like
This
me,
is-
Zeke, and Lana.
Kind of essence vanishes. And Ruben just sort of shakes his head.
So is he the only ghost hanging around, or are there others that we need to know about?
He's the only one that's been given enough attention to be able to manifest at will.
Oh, got it.
Fair enough.
Neat.
I guess considering your families, it makes sense on how he got that much attention. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Anyways, right.
Nice to be able to keep him with you.
Kind of. At least the memory of him.
And Dori will giggle a bit at that. She gets that too.
Anyways, as you asked, though, I do have a kit for breaching into the netherworld, but it's not for sale before you ask.
Okay.
As the material
Can you-
components are difficult to prepare and expensive to get.
Could you give me like the instructions to put together my own kit, understanding it will probably take me a while to get the materials I need.
I could do that on the understanding that I am not responsible for anything that goes awry.
That's fair. That's fair. This is difficult, dangerous stuff. I'm aware.
Okay. As he
Now
pulls
that
out...
Bruno, you can't come back to kill him if anything happens.
No,
Bruno?
I'm more likely to make sure that I get the diamonds before I allow her to even try, and if she gets herself killed with this, revive her quickly.
A little more complicated than that. Little more complicated than that.
It always is.
My
It doesn't
dear
mean I
trickster.
can't do my best.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Me or dice?
Dice.
Yeah. So Ruben's has walked back over to his desk as he's scrawling out notes
Okay.
and instructions, underlining a few things multiple times. Oh, that's actually really simple. It'll be the instructions are. You can find the instructions on page 200 of the Delver's Guide.
Okay. This is the Netherworld Intrusion Ritual Kit.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically,
Or at least instructions thereof. Yeah.
Yes. He's not giving you the kit. You'll have to source your own materials.
Okay. As he hands it to her, she'll say, Fiona's indicated that the locals have asked us to check out how dangerous, safe, what have you are. What do you want us to tell them? Play up the safety, play up the mystery, play up the danger?
Well, he's clearly not dangerous. Not unless he starts summoning ghosts in the middle of town.
Well, but I mean...
That'll scare the adults more than anything.
Tell him nothing. People from time to time still hire me here. Mostly to yell at Grandma because recipes were not left with any clarification.
Sounds about right.
I'm completely fine with that line of work.
Okay. So just leave things as they are.
Yeah, leave things as they are and let people naturally just...
Get used to you.
Yes. You get it.
Okay.
Fiona gives a thumbs up.
That sounds good.
I can let them know that your house isn't scary or anything, so you don't get children trying to do bravery challenges at the very least.
You know, I'm surprised I haven't had that happen yet. Oh, but if it does, he says before giving the kettle a sharp gaze as it starts screeching. Right, 1 second. He pulls the kettle off the flame and services up cups of tea for everyone. A strong herbal aroma gradually filling the cabin room.
Grigori happily grabs a cup.
It is a fairly bitter... It's a fairly floral yet bitter tea. As your... As an examination of the contents, you would find a few different things that you wouldn't think of putting in tea, but are fine in a beverage, namely something like dandelion leaf.
Actually, depending on where you're from, that's a perfectly normal thing to put in a tea.
That's why I say not necessarily.
Yeah.
If this tea is sort of up on offer to everyone, Lantern does tear herself away from the pretty paintings to try to identify what the ingredients are.
There's a few things you're familiar with. There's a few things you're going to broaden your horizons with, such as the dandelion.
I didn't know you could eat those.
Just the leaves, I think.
Out of character note, I happen to know that you can eat basically any part of the dandelion that you feel like. You shouldn't, though, if you live in suburban Illinois and they have been seeping lead out from the road for the past.
You shouldn't in suburban anywhere because they're usually spraying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All sorts of chemicals.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Yes.
But Lantern is enchanted by the possibilities, and this guy, I regret to inform you that this guy has prompted a new wave of culinary experiments.
This is not a surprise.
I look forward to it.
No, it really isn't.
Yes.
But I suppose, as he speaks up, if there are some things you want to tell people, I do more than just talk to ghosts.
Sure. Such as what?
Well, I have some training in readings, if people are interested.
Okay.
Well, what's that?
Palm, tarot,
Oh, that kind of reading.
yes.
Oh, what languages are those?
Future.
Chuckles, well, kind of.
Future? Bruno, Lantern is staring at you in bafflement.
I think it would be best if would you mind performing a reading for Lantern so she can understand what that is? It's easier to show than to explain some things, and a reading is one of them.
Is this a thing you do
Yeah.
for money? Because I do have money and can pay for it.
That would be appreciated.
How much?
It's not exactly a pricey fee here, only but a few coppers.
Lantern.
5.1 sufficient.
Go ahead and hand him a silver and says that he does not need to provide change.
Okay, so he's gonna sit you down at the smaller table as he goes over to the shelf to pull out a card deck and shuffle it.
Lantern, who is presumably, if his chairs are sized for him, she is presumably standing on a chair with excitement, leaning over the table.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d14, Lantern, as he cuts the deck and sets each card down face up, back up in front of you, or face down.
It's a 10 and then 1d14.
Okay. As he gestures for you to reach for a card and to flip it over, you're presented with a card that has on the bottom side a small garden, and in the middle of it, from the top to the bottom, is a staff with a small flame not erupting, burning from the top. He looks over the card for a minute, then looks over to you, Lantern, and seems amused. As he explains that what you've pulled is the Wands of Meaning card.
Ooh, what's the meaning of Wands
So-
of Meaning?
Upright, as you've drawn it, the Wands of Meaning symbolizes creation, willpower, inspiration. One who is going to be, well, not necessarily that one who's going to be doing anything, but one who's going to have or is already experiencing a swath of ideas and inspiration. And for a kobold, well, I can see where the willpower would come find its meaning.
Well, I can tell you where the inspirations have been just because walking in here. I've seen like 14 things I want to try.
Given the mixed reactions from your party, I'm sure that this is probably as much a sign as it is a warning to them.
I'm the chef!
Ah. Well, to the rest of you, I hope that everything is enjoyable that she cooks up in the near future.
Usually it is.
It's always a good sign.
Yes, she's an excellent cook.
Yes, she is.
Yep.
Would anybody else be interested?
Sure.
He says as he reshuffles his deck. I'll do one free one since your friend here handed me a silver. As he re-puts out the cards.
Lantern is crudely drawing the symbol from the card in her notes with the notes on what he said about it.
Okay.
And so as Ruben goes to draw a card for somebody else or do another reading, Fiona will go up to Lantern and go, so basically what you saw, that's a reading, and what it does is it helps the person who understands the cards get a feel for the person who draws the card. And sometimes
Okay.
that can help the person who draws the card understand more about themselves as well.
Well, that makes sense because all of those things is stuff that I already know.
Okay, so
But he should. But he didn't, so he definitely did something. And I don't know what it was, but I think I'm satisfied with it.
I think it was
Yes.
Grigori, Bruno, and Vellos would like one as well.
Okay.
Dori actually would as well.
Oh, sorry.
Fiona's just like, you know what? We might as well just all go, and Fiona will put 2 more silvers on the table.
Sounds reasonable to
Do we
him.
need more than that?
I think
He'll
that covers
take it.
everybody with a tip.
He'll take it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
That's more than reasonable to him. So whoever wants to roll.
We also he also gave us tea, so it could just be paying for the tea at this point.
Mhm.
Fiona does not mind. He has been very welcoming and patient with their group, just kind of, you know,
Crashing his house.
Yeah. All right. So I think it was Bruno or Grigori that was first, or was it Vellos?
Oh, Vellos.
Grigori, then Bruno, then Vellos, I believe.
Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
start with Grigori.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
As you reach for a card and flip it over, you're presented with a figure of a wolf standing atop a wall. A line of spears and stabs are in front of the wall. As he looks down at it and looks to you, he nods and says, "The Wands of Meaning, resilience, grit, last stand."
Okay.
Tell me, Grigori, Have you been in any situation yet where you thought you would not be getting out of it?
I have, yes. Not too long ago.
Definitely a sign of resilience.
And that is why I'm here with these fine folks. Or how I'm here, I should say, because they saved my life.
He nods slowly at that. And even more so, you're in great hands as well as you are. Seeming to be an
Yes.
unbreakable spirit.
Yeah, well, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
He smiles and nods as he closes up the deck and reshuffles it for a moment. Reshuffling, cutting the deck, putting things back out. Let's see here, Bruno, you rolled a...
I rolled a 13, yes.
Okay. You are presented with a castle. Stabs coming... A series of stabs once more coming up in the foreground. As he puts his finger on it, Four of Wands, meaning community, home, celebration.
Hmm.
Do you feel at home? Do you feel like you're coming upon home?
Hmm.
Or he offered leaning over to you as he puts his fingers on the card and flips it over to be upside down from you. Do you feel that there's something astray where you live or where you came from?
That second one, yes.
He nods slowly. No need to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, something to deal
But
with.
I can tell that there's a dark cloud over you, and that something is bothering you greatly.
Yeah. There definitely is that.
In due time, things will sort themselves out. Hopefully for the better for you.
Hopefully. Since Sophie didn't actually do anything too stupid.
Okay.
Oh,
Dori will give it a try.
I thought Vellos was next.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Vellos, he looks at you for a moment as he's shuffling his deck before getting a different deck out for you and reshuffling it. Go ahead and roll me a 22.
A D22?
Yes.
Vellos looks rather confused at this, but he obliges. 10.
Okay. As you reach for a card and flip it over, you're presented with a hooded figure holding a lantern standing at an overlook. He nods slowly as he reads out the name of the card, the Hermit. Contemplation, search for truth, inner guidance. Alternatively, in reverse, loneliness, isolation, or having lost your way.
Well, definitely searching for something at the moment.
He nods slowly at this.
Someone, rather, but
Still, you're searching for the truth of something.
yeah. Yeah, just hoping someone I know is okay.
Of course. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm also going to assume this is not based on anything other than everybody else's conversations out of town, but I'm going to assume it has something to do with the dragoness that came through.
Yes, that would be my little sis.
She seemed to be in good hands. I'm sure she's fine. Bit interesting hands, but good hands nonetheless.
Yeah, she just has everybody worried because she ran off very suddenly without telling anybody anything.
Ah, the free spirit.
Is that? Yes.
Not necessarily a bad thing, Fiona will
No.
add.
And then he looks over to you, Dori, as he replaces his cards.
And she'll, I'm assuming the 14
Yes.
card deck, she gets a 13 as well,
13.
like Bruno.
For you, you are presented with, after shuffling, much in the same card as Bruno's. The Wands of Meaning, or the Four Wands of Meaning. The castle in the background, the four staves in the foreground.
You know, it kind of makes sense. You got a similar card to Dori, to Bruno's.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
siblings in just about every way except blood.
Yep.
So I heard.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, I do hope there's no serious home troubles.
Well, that's one of the things we're searching for right now to find out.
Yeah.
Best of luck out there,
Thank you.
of course.
And I guess that means it's Fiona's turn now.
Yep.
Yep.
As he reshuffles his cards.
A 14.
A 14. As you flip over, you are presented with a card that has a wolf riding upon the back of an armor mount, holding what looks to be as much a lance as it is a staff like the other cards.
Hmm.
The Knight of Wands. Action, adventure, fearlessness. Reversed anger, impulsiveness, or recklessness.
Yeah, no, that one totally makes sense.
Smiles lightly. Delver
if you've
seemed to
been
almost
here-
always draw this card. Funny that you're the only one in
Was-
this group that did.
Ah,
Well, she's very brave and cool and tough, so it probably could tell that she was the really brave, cool, tough one and just, came to her.
Could it tell, or was she simply attracted to it?
well, I guess that's one question that doesn't have an exact answer, huh?
Particularly, no, but is always one worth thinking about.
Indeed. Well, that was fun. Thank you for that,
Of
Ruben.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was very interesting. Well, if you don't mind me asking, why did I get a different deck?
He inhales before letting out a slow sigh as he looks over you. There is something about you, Vellos. A few clouds over your head.
Bella seems very puzzled at that.
Perhaps it's nothing, perhaps there's more to it.
No, I'm not really sure what it could be. Huh.
I'm sure in time you'll find out. As these cards are more for the person drawing them than anybody around them.
Huh.
Yes, no, it's perhaps one of the most important things is you do not draw for another person, only yourself.
Good to know.
So for you, I felt a stronger arcane was called for.
A stronger arcane?
The nature of the cards.
Huh. Well, regardless of the mystery, thank you.
Of course.
Cool.
Thank you.
And with that, we could definitely let people who ask know that your readings are actually pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for all of the thought you are provoking.
Of course. Well, until another time you are here, he says, kind of glancing over to the door.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
Thank you so much
Very
for
good.
your time.
Thank you.
Of course.
At some point before we leave, Lantern is going to attempt to sneak an object into his stuff because he's given her a lot to thought about. He's given her a lot to think about, and she's going to give him some hidden somewhere among his many trinkets when he is not paying attention, a single fake glass coin covered in gold leaf.
Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand.
Fantastic. Ooh, I'm good at that. Why am I good at that?
Is you're a kobold?
I mean, that's literally why, yeah. I just did not remember that I took proficiency in it because it's never come up.
Lantern.
This is a 25.
Oh my.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. You're able to just easily enough slip one of your fake coins onto the shelf while nobody's looking.
Yeah, give him a little bit of walking around fake money covered in gold leaf.
Kobold peculiarities.
Yes. Give him something to wonder about. Like 3 weeks later when he's dusting and goes, what? When did, what?
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool beans.
So we have the information that we wanted. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he read cards at us, which was very nice of him.
Yes. Very cool stuff.
Indeed. Was there anything else anyone wanted to do while we're in town?
For me,
no.
no. I just wait till we get back to the wagon for me. And then I have some
You
questions.
know well enough. All you have to do is just tell a couple of people, and things will sort themselves out.
Yep. There were plenty of people who saw them go with him to his house.
Yep.
So,
Nothing bad happened.
yep. Nothing bad happened.
Lantern's going to check on the hyenas again when they get back, and then if there is a fire pit or for a campfire or anything nearby, then she is going to make food over that. If not, she will take up the oven and make everybody dinner.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. While you're doing that,
Sorry if y'all can hear my dog.
nope, you're good.
Okay.
Off in the distance, as it's later on at night, you see a kind of a phantasmal glow, and if you climb to the top of the barn house and look out from the loft window, you'll be able to see off in the distance a spooky-looking barn house.
That would be where that group went.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hope they're doing all right.
Nothing to stop you from checking in on them.
That's true.
I think we should go past it before we leave. Just, as delvers to delvers.
Yeah.
It is something you
Can't
could
hurt to make
potentially
sure
do right
the
now.
new blood are doing well.
I did not
Sure.
hear dice.
I said it's something
Sorry.
you could potentially do right now if you wished.
Well, once we've... this is later at night, yes?
Yes, but
No,
it's
just-
losing track of time inside a dungeon is an easy thing to do.
No, I'm just checking to make sure that I've got the sense of time right. Because after... in the evening after we've all eaten and checked up on everything, Lantern would not be averse to checking that out. Just,
Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
nobody's ever asked for her autograph before, so, she kind of wants to make sure they're doing okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm all for it.
They seemed
Yeah.
like good. They seemed like good folk.
Yeah. Let's
they
check
did.
them out. Make sure everything's okay.
So, on your trek over there, you see the large doors of the spooky barn open. And you see 3 of them come walking out. 2 of them holding a chest. One of them seems to have something strapped to his shoulders and he's dragging something. Those spirits seem to be relatively high among the group as you approach. Getting closer, you realize the horse is dragging a makeshift sled with the wolf on it. And all of them have some degree of quills sticking out of them, whereas the wolf is looking like a pincushion and he's still alive, which you can tell even from where you're standing. He's just doing his best to not move.
Ooh, oh dear.
Ooh. Okay.
Nasty looking.
Ow.
Bruno makes his way over to the wolf, offering. Okay, would you like any help with that?
He's just like, I'm fine.
We've got 2 clerics in our group.
Yeah.
The Irvine speaks up and says, I'll take care of him. No need to,
Okay.
Wow, those things
All
are
right.
big.
Dungeon monsters can get big, pretty big. Yeah.
Fiona, Lantern.
What did you end up fighting anyway?
I will say right now, Fiona, Lantern, given both
Yes.
of your rural upbringings, you recognize porcupine quills when you see them. Never this big, but you recognize them.
Oh, was it a big?
Ow.
How big was it?
It was big.
Lantern is going to
Yeah.
try to extrapolate from the size of the quills stuck in this guy how big a porcupine we're talking.
Fiona is meanwhile just grimacing, and it's like, yeah, those are gonna be a pain to get out. I can understand why you don't want to move.
Yeah.
You would imagine it's probably closer to a medium-sized creature. Or creatures.
After peering at it for a moment, Lanterns has 2 statements that she says right in a row, which is, number 1, wow, that must have been like the size of a really big pig. Are you going to make beads out of them?
You're just... Lantern, you're giving a questioning look from the 4 of them as they're slowly walking along.
I mean, looking at the size of the bigger quills, you'd probably get like a full ring out of it, but you can make beads out of porcupine quills really easily, and it's a great way to make use of them once you've pulled them out of your flesh.
The wolf lets out a low groan and he says, I don't want to think about that or porcupines ever again.
Well, okay, but if you're looking for someone, to maybe sell a couple of those quills to, I'll pay a little bit for them.
He lets out a low-pained whine.
Maybe ask him about it once he doesn't have the quills in him anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then he might not think to keep them.
You know? And Dori will go over to the wolf. A former party member of ours, he decided to stop delving and go get married. But
He was already engaged. He just finally earned enough to pay for the wedding.
yeah, I think it was partially also he was
Well,
just
yes,
done.
that too.
Our very first dungeon, he kept getting fire shot at him.
He kept getting set on fire, not just shot at
Yes.
him. He kept getting set on fire, and we had to keep putting him out. He
So
developed.
was I.
phobia. Well, yes.
Yeah, but you didn't seem to develop the problem with fire that he did. He
Probably because I
really-
didn't put it out 10,000 times only to get set back on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one's always the roughest.
It was a giant
Yeah.
flaming wolf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, congrats, guys. I know,
You
You're a little
survived
reeling
your
from
first
it.
dungeon.
yeah.
Good job!
And it looks like you got some treasure from it too.
Yep.
Which is cool.
And did you guys get someone to give you a lead on this, or since I'm pretty sure this is your town, did you just know about it and go in?
The sheep speaks up. Augustus pointed it out to us.
Oh yeah, he is working for the brigade now, isn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from my folks. We'll have to check on him before we
Okay.
leave.
Yeah.
Well, congrats, guys. Enjoy your reward.
Yep.
Just remember not to stiff your scout.
Yeah.
No,
That's
we know.
bad news.
We know. He told us all about how the scouts handle our taxes and everything.
Yep.
Good.
And
But
with
congrats.
that, why don't we go take a quick break?
Yeah,
Okay.
Good
Alright.
idea.
So,
I thought
get your food, get your drinks. I will be back myself.
Break time, break time. Resume!
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back from break. As we left off, you guys were just finishing checking up on a group of delvers and their new pin cushion.
Unfortunate for him. But he survived, and that's what's important.
Yep.
Yep.
So as they came out, did the barn go away? Or is it still there?
It's let out an uncomfortable structural creaking noise. You know the sort when an old place is barely holding itself up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the feeling it's probably not going to be standing for much longer.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yep.
But you also get the feeling that this place was dealt with the moment it showed up before it could actually start posing an issue to the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Nobody needs giant porcupines roaming around.
No.
No.
Hey, they're delicious in a stew.
Anyways,
Luckily, they showed up. It showed up far enough out in the middle of the field it didn't cause any issues in town when it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unlike the pottery dungeon in Mansque.
Yeah.
you guys got the feeling, given how quickly the guards reacted to that, this is not a first time.
Mm.
And it won't be the last.
Now my mind's wondering what other kinds of shops turned into dungeons would look like.
Oh God, I hope we get to go to a cheese store that's turned into a dungeon.
You're hoping we fight cheese golems, aren't
I
you?
want to fight cheese golems. I want to eat a cheese golem. I don't see why this is controversial.
I'd be more worried about a general magic shop.
I'll tell you why it's controversial. Reptiles are not mammals. They do not possess the gene responsible for the production of the enzyme used in breaking down of lactase.
I don't think that's ever going to stop Lantern any more than it has ever stopped any lactose intolerant person
This
from
is
going
true.
down on a pizza.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying, on
yeah.
principle, Vellos and Lantern are both genetically lactose intolerant, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well,
This has not stopped any dragon that you know of, Vellos.
And it sure as fuck hasn't stopped any kobold who has ever lived from eating exactly as much cheese as they want to.
Yeah.
Probably their own body weight.
I think Vellos has had cheese at this point, so...
Well,
Worth
Lantern
it
is
in his
definitely
eyes.
cooked with it, so...
I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
saying.
there was the... Oh yeah, she made the...
I'm just saying, you know, it's a fact of life, and it does not stop you.
Yeah. Right, she used cheese with the sweet fruit dish.
Cheese is easily purchased
Yes.
from just about anywhere.
And when you spend most of your time driving an outdoor, wagon, then whether or not you're farting the whole time probably isn't likely to come up over the noise of the wagon and the smells of the road.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painting horrible pictures aside, you guys probably all turn into rest right about now.
Yep. Made sure the new
Yeah.
blood are okay. That's good enough for us.
Yep.
Yep.
And throughout the night, you're occasionally woken up to a yowl of pain. And it's probably your imagination, but you can almost hear a muted, sorry, trying for another yowl of pain.
Lantern takes note of where she's
Oh,
hearing this
boy.
from because maybe there's going to be some dumpster diving for those quills later. If you know where the noises are coming from, you know where the trash is likely to get thrown out.
Oh dear.
If her parents seem concerned by the yowls of pain, Fiona will explain exactly what's going on.
Which you're giving it just an oh. And then and then oh.
So they all survived. It's just the unquilling.
Yeah.
Fiona will also tell them about their experience with Reuben.
They'll be sure to let their neighbors know.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, as you know, means everyone's gonna know by the end of the tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That
This
Reuben
guy is
is
going to have somebody giving him advice on the dandelion tea he has a recipe for by sundown tomorrow.
And he's also gonna be known as the haunted painter.
I mean, that's cool, though. Like, as far
Who
as
does
things to
readings?
be a haunted,
The haunted painter who also provides readings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But somewhat sleepless as it may be, night turns to day. And you wonder to yourselves if that crew spent all night picking quills out of their friend.
I think after checking the hyenas, Lantern is going to see if she could sort of nose around where those noises were coming from and see if she can find out where they threw away the quills.
Fortunately for you, this is a situation of, even though this is a small or a large town, you're not sure where those came from. It's
Unfortunate.
kind of one of those howls that echoes through the fields.
Yeah, I guess the acoustics don't really provide much other than a general cardinal direction.
Basically.
She's still probably out for like an hour and a half looking for it before she gives up and goes back.
And while Lantern's out doing that, what's everyone else doing?
Dori will spend the time to summon ghosts
Okay.
and spend some time, not just her standard summoning them, but, kind of chatting with them.
What was that?
Kind of chatting with them, not just a standard summon, but,
Okay.
trying to get some information out of them.
See.
Would Fiona know where the dungeon brigades usually sets up their scouts?
You would know
In town.
that's closer to the middle of town, which would
Okay.
also kind of be where one of the larger Bethels would be located.
Okay. Oh, Fiona would let anyone who is curious know that she was going to go talk to Augustus before they left.
Vellos would be willing to tag along. He was curious about that himself.
As you know, this would be more along the lines of an administration building than an actual staging area.
Yeah.
Dori would, if she does it when she's not actually in the midst of communing with ghosts, will go along.
Sorry, you're coming in a little quiet.
Sorry. If Dori isn't in the middle of communing with ghosts, she'll go along.
Okay. Aside from rolling with your ghosts, or rolling the ghosts you wanted to get, what were you trying to do?
I was just summoning them and chatting with them.
Okay, chatting.
Yes.
So I'm checking the bard sheet to see if you...
But she's also doing a standard summoning as well.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I could say you could probably chat with them, but you'll be finding that most of the ghosts here are kind of broken in their speech. You're not really going to pull much information out.
Okay.
These are ghosts that aren't fed a whole lot of attention, so they're not very well manifested.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if everyone is still out when Lantern gets back, she's just going to go to like the nearest non-farmland little wilderness scrubby area and look for various plants, herbs, foods.
You're going to have to go outside of Golden Tide for that, and that's going to be like easily a half-hour walk out of town.
Fair enough. Roadside weeds, how about? Looking for dandelions in specific, as she's been inspired.
You can walk along the roads between fields. Try and give me a nature.
Yeah, I'm looking for wild plants. Nothing. Not pulling up anybody's crops or anything.
Well,
survival.
Just give me a nature check.
Nature.
To spot out edible weeds.
And we're allowed to use wisdom for nature instead of intelligence,
As
right?
a druid, yes.
Perfect. It's a 22.
Not only are you finding dandelions, you're also seeing some thistle. That's some stinging nettle over there.
Ooh, that's delicious if you do it right.
Poison ivy if you're feeling fun. But it seems like
I would like
for
to
trying to keep that from growing, as you only spotted like one little sprout.
Well, I would like to collect all of the above that's been mentioned, wild greens wise, and then in a one of these ceramic jars that I have carried with me in case I found something like poison ivy.
Okay.
I am going to use a piece of paper instead of touching it with my hand to pull up the ivy by the roots and put it in a jar.
Okay. What toolkits do you have in your inventory?
How many what?
Toolkits. What toolkits do you have?
I have... Well, in terms of toolkits, I have cooking tools, a shovel, an alchemy kit. I think I have a lockpick. I have an herbalism kit.
Between the alchemy kit and the herbalism kit, you'd have the tools to dig things up without having to touch them.
Fantastic.
Wait, do you have?
I'm still going to
have just proficiency in it.
I have an herbalism kit. I bought it at a town like session 3.
No, I know, but I remember that. I was just more asking about the alchemy kit.
Yeah, I don't actually appear to have the alchemy kit. I do have an herbalism kit.
Okay, well,
I thought I had an alchemy kit. I do not.
The herbalism kit will have the tools necessary for herbalism stuff, like snipping leaves or otherwise uprooting plants without having to touch them yourself.
Okay. No, I'm gonna pick up the wild greens. I'm also gonna, any poison ivy that I see is gonna go right into that jar.
Okay. Easy enough you'll be able to fill the jar on your little venture.
And if I come back and nobody is there, I'm going to start stewing stinging nettles to deactivate the stinging part and turn them into delicious greens.
Something you'd probably know how to do at this point.
Oh yeah, no. She's definitely figured out exactly how much you need to cook it to get rid of the stinging feeling, and also how much stinging feeling to leave in for her own enjoyment if that is what she so chooses. She's not so choosing, because this is for everybody, and she knows that not everybody likes stinging nettle taste. It's acquired.
And everyone else? Fiona and who else was heading over to Augustus?
Vellos.
Vellos.
Dori will if they wait until after she's done communing with the spirits.
Okay.
Bruno will stay in the wagon because, interesting it may be, he's just going to sit this one out.
Doesn't feel like being social.
He's socialed out for the week.
Okay. That's weird.
What, an antisocial cleric or something else?
No, I'm looking at my notes for Augustus. I'm just realizing how did I manage to do something?
Very
That's
careless.
You're not
fun.
weird, it's Augustus that's weird.
No, I'm missing key information on Augustus.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, while Dice looks for that, Bruno, you get the announcement that Lantern is going out for greens, and then an hour or two later, returning home, she says, "Guess what I got?" Okay, you don't have to guess. It's a jar of poison ivy.
And where's Grigori in all
Okay.
of this?
Keep
I'm
that
right
away
here.
from me, but have fun with it.
Hang on. What was that, Grigori?
I'm just gonna sit and patiently wait for tea.
Okay. If you don't have any ideas, since you're in a farming town, you do have that bladeling hide that you still need to tan into leather. If you wanted to see if you couldn't find a place to rent
Oh.
to do that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, my mom and dad are calling me, so I'm fucking trying to do 3 things at once.
Oh, understandable.
We have all been there.
Yes,
Yep.
we have.
Tell them you're
I
in
forgot
D&D
about
right now. You're trying not to get murdered by a beholder.
Oh, wait, what? A beholder?
Yes, just even though that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got everything I need for Augustus.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Do I need to roll? Or no?
In your case, to find a tannery
Yeah.
to treat
I
your,
mean,
you
perception,
can
I
either
guess.
use you can either roll perception to try and locate a place yourself, or persuasion to talk to the townsfolk to get directions.
Okay. Region? Where's my... I'm probably better at persuading people,
Okay.
if I remember right. Can I get my fucking... I think I have a +2, I think. Hold on.
Character sheet together real quick. Let's see here under skills. Nope, under skills.
Yeah, it's a +2 skills, I guess.
Persuasion. Oh, you're proficient in persuasion.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got a +5, correct?
You have a +2 plus 1d6.
2 plus 2 plus 2. 1d. That's right. You do the 1d6.
Yeah,
That's
you use
right.
proficiency die.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. Well, shit. I guess I'm gonna ask the guards since
Anyone
they're all
really.
guards and stuff.
But yeah, nope,
Yeah.
easy enough.
+2 plus. 22.
22. Easily, with a quick question of hey, I've got these leathers I've got these hides need tanning into leather, where's a tannery? You're easily told to follow the big main road westward, and once you're in the west part of town, just follow your nose.
Okay,
And
that's simple enough.
very simple enough. You'll be finding the tannery rather quickly at that point, on the outskirts of the west part of town.
Awesome sauce. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, thank you very much, good sir or ma'am, and I'm going to be on my way.
The Dungeon Master, am just going to be one quick second, and then I'll get to you, Fiona.
Sure.
There was suspicious silence, but nothing is amiss. Anyways, Fiona, you end up about half your trip is spent walking with Grigori, who's carrying his bundle of hides and chitin.
Okay.
On a mission to get that tanned into usable leathers. Well, probably not the chitin, but... But about halfway there, you do find... Well, first there's the large Bethel in the middle of town that's as much a place of worship for Parawa as it is a community center. And then there's the smaller building with the royal crown the royal flag of elements on it, along with clear indication that that is the Dungeon Brigade administrative building.
Well, that's clearly where Fiona's going.
Okay. Heading inside. There's a couple of people there, mostly seeming to be doing some degree of busy work. You know the kind. There's no work to be done,
Yeah.
so they're finding something to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't take long to spot out Augustus. You would recognize that desert fox anywhere.
Hey, Augustus!
He looks up from a sheet of paperwork, kind of flinching a little at just how loud you called out to him. Even if you weren't being that loud. You know,
It's just a quiet building.
Yeah, it's the breaking the silence.
Yeah.
As he looks up, he lets out of the it's a clearly fake smile. Hey Fiona.
How you doing?
I'm here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, what can you do?
What made you pick the Dungeon Brigade?
Well, it was natural progression, I guess, if anything.
Alright.
I went through basic training, worked my way up in rank. Then they found I was really good with paperwork.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Which I didn't mind the desk job. Seated in a desk job, middle of Louvain, it was wonderful. And then the guy working here retired.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate.
So it's like, hey, Augustus, you're getting a promotion. And now I'm here.
Fiona will nod her head in
Gaze
understanding.
turns towards... His gaze turns out towards the window, looking at one of the many buildings just outside. He lets out a slow sigh. There's no plumbing here.
No. No, there isn't.
Louvain has fountains. And some of the fancier places have sinks where you can just draw water from the inside of the kitchen.
Lantern would probably really like that.
It was all great. But, I suppose you didn't come here to listen to me whine.
Mostly to catch up before we go chasing after his sister.
Ah. Yeah, I heard about that. I think you've heard a lot of people say that by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He's getting used to how it is. Fiona says, gesturing to Vellos.
Chuckles lightly. Which part of
Yeah,
it?
the rumor
the whole
part.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
He's not used to how quickly information spreads.
Well, yeah, I don't like it either, but small town with absolutely nothing going on in it. And the Crown insists on calling this place a city. There's barely 6,000 people living here.
Yeah,
It's probably just so that they can put a barony here and tax everybody.
Oh, the Crown would do
You know
that
this.
anyways. This
I know
just
this.
makes it easier.
Yeah.
But at the same token, it also makes it easier to pay everybody.
This is true. Makes it easier for everyone to find somewhere to sell all their grain and everything.
Yeah. Well, mostly to make it easier on exporting all the grain to the surrounding places.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere.
All the money heads back to the Crown and then flows out from the Crown. But,
So you were in charge of that new delving group, huh?
Yeah. Was that what that racket was all night?
Yeah.
yeah.
Giant
Porcupine Cove.
porcupines.
Ow.
Bruno, you're not here.
Ow.
Yeah, no, the wolf got the worst of it.
That sounds about right. Chainmail, his father's sword, a brand new shield.
And probably the belief that he was untouchable.
Oh,
I don't know about that. But if he had it then, he doesn't have it now.
Nope.
That'll keep him alive.
No. Yeah, well.
Well, all four of them made it out, so.
Oh, good. I was worried that there would be another group that showed up and left same day. As he kind of looks around a little bit. Not a lot of groups make it past their first delve.
No. Ours had a giant flaming wolf as the main
Did you
combatant in the
lose
center of it.
anybody?
We did not, but one of our team members at that time developed a phobia of fire from that.
That would do it.
Yep. He has since retired from delving and went home to his fiancée for the wedding after earning enough money. Can't really blame him that.
Honestly,
Nope.
I kind of can. You have plans to get married and you go delving.
Oh, when you need money for the wedding,
There are far better options.
but I doubt many of them are as quick.
No, few of them are as quick, but all of them are basically guaranteed you'll be going home at night.
True.
Well, he did cut out when the going was good, so I can't blame him too much.
Smart move, smart move.
Yeah.
As for
Was
you,
kind of felt bad for him since a lot of my spells were starting to use fire.
so you chased him off.
Not on purpose.
He chuckles lightly. Over to you, Grigori. It
Okay.
doesn't take too long before you're picking up the rancid odor of the tannery. And
Okay,
you're
I'm gonna
making
follow my
your way
nose.
there. What was that?
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna follow my nose.
It doesn't take too long. Some distance outside of town, you find the quickly assembled structure of a tannery. One of those things that you get the feeling was at one point a temporary structure, but like all things temporary in a city, it is never temporary.
Okay.
As you approach, one of the workers approaches you, and first off, seeing the fact that you're carrying raw hides assumes you're here for business, and second of all, offers you a somewhat stiff rag to wrap around your face that's been soaked in a sweet smelling oil that just kind of, it's not the most pleasant smell because it is kind of overly sweetened, but it overpowers the stench of the tannery, and that's all that matters. It is a lesser of two evils.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna lightly rinse off my face or wipe my face off.
No, it's like a bandana kind of deal. Wrap it around your face.
Oh.
To muffle
okay,
the
okay.
smell.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna put it like a bandit around my ears, I suppose. Make it tight in the back.
And with that done, he looks over what you have, says, I assume you're here for business, but I've never seen hide like that before.
Yeah, neither have I until recently.
Okay, well... Huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them off my shoulder, kind of hold them out, and say they are from something called a bladeling.
Never heard of it. Going to assume I don't want to hear about it either. Tell you what. Since it's your materials and nobody here's ever worked with anything like this before, we'll go ahead and I'll go talk to the boss, see if we can think of something. Because I assume
Okay.
you probably want to work on this yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You sit tight.
Yeah, I do.
Just wait right over there, he says, pointing to a wagon, a cart that's currently not in any use. And
Okay.
I'll be right back out. He says, walking towards an outbuilding with even on the outside, a generous amount of burning incense.
Okay, I'm gonna wait over there by the cart.
Okay. After a couple of minutes, the guy comes back out and approaches you, saying, "Okay, so we can let you use one of the empty tanning barrels. It'll just to rent out the equipment. It'll be a couple of gold coins to work on things for yourself."
Awesome. Okay, pull out a couple gold coins and then get to business. Get to work.
Get to tanning, get properly cleaning the hides, soaking them, tanning. You want to go ahead and give me a couple of leather working rolls using your dexterity.
Okay, so nice. All right.
Just to get an idea of the general yield you're able to pull from foreign materials.
Oh, okay. You got this right. It'd be a +7 for my or no, +4, right?
That would be +4 plus a d6 because you're using your dexterity.
Plus D6.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
22. Wow.
Not bad at all. You're despite the relatively alien material, you go at it with leather is still leather, and you're able to do pretty good progress on cleaning it and the chitin.
Oh, okay.
On your process of converting it to leather, though, you find that the chitin you can't do much else aside from clean with, or aside from cleaning it.
That's fine. I have an idea for it.
I gotta be right back.
Okay, so if you want to give me one more roll to see how well you do with the rest of the process of tanning it.
Okay, same thing?
Yep.
Okay.
As we kind of oversimplify this.
Nine.
You're gonna, in the process of tanning, it's gonna take you a little longer than expected. Thankfully, you got the more destructive aspect out of the way done first and easily. Right now, it's just a case of realizing that this is going to take a little longer than you thought.
Okay. Awesome.
Whether because you're not using the right mix or you're still experimenting with the right mix is anyone's guess. And then back to Fiona and crew.
Yes.
You did.
You guys kind of, I guess, finish up the conversation with Augustus
Probably.
and leave him to wallow in his misery.
Yeah. Bjorn feels a bit bad for him, but what can you do?
Not a whole lot.
Right?
He's here. He's now. Unfortunately, he's here.
He's here. He doesn't want to be, but he is.
Well, that was interesting.
It was. I feel a little bad for him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
a little
also-
bit.
You also found yourselves learning the dark secret that, boy, do a lot of first-time Delver crews break up immediately after their first Delve results and the group being cut down in half. cut down to half capacity.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
kind
that
of
was definitely
understandable,
sobering.
actually.
Yeah, considering how tough that first fight was for us, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah. Tough.
Dungeons do not have training wheels.
No.
No.
But they do not.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What do we not
Welcome
have?
Dungeons
Dungeons don't have training wheels.
Oh, they sure don't.
So while the group didn't learn the exact statistics, but they did learn that a lot of first-time groups tend to break up due to fatalities.
Well, we'll see how long that new group sticks in town or whether or not they leave.
Shouldn't we be getting ready to...
Head out ourselves.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
don't want
Fiona would know where to pick up, like, food goods, right?
Yeah,
While they're out here.
easily enough. There's a few farmers markets throughout the town. There's also the Bethel, which has a few more people who sell goods. Like if you wanted to get more.
Fiona knows that
stuffs.
Fiona knows that the hyenas need jerky. She isn't sure how much Lantern has left.
Lantern could give you that figure, but you're not where Lantern is.
No. So she figures if she buys some of the jerky for Lantern, it'll make it easier for her.
That works.
This is true.
Yeah. And besides, it keeps the hyenas happy.
And after seeing how they flung Lantern easily, it's probably best to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want Eye Gouger and Cupcake to get too restless.
Nope.
Nope.
But currently, Lantern is back at the wagon, keeping an eye on a boiling kettle of stinging nettles, while doing other things with poison ivy.
It's probably fine. As about you guys make your way back. Grigori, you'll be done at around midday. As this process is
Awesome.
taking you a few hours.
Cool.
But eventually you are able to convert your hide into leather and the chitin into clean to chitin.
Awesome.
Fiona would remember how much Lantern bought when they left Mansque, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Fiona will
so.
buy probably that much if it's available. Of jerky.
She bought 2 weeks worth.
Yeah.
Just general salted dried meats. You're given a bit of a look at purchasing that much pork, but
Fiona's like, you didn't hear what we rolled in with town, huh?
and then it's like, oh, okay. That's you. Got it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't graze.
As you're kind of purchasing that much in regards to, I get, be along the lines of what you usually feed your work dogs and whatnot, your farm dogs.
Yeah. You know. Just scrap
a lot of it.
Yeah, just a lot of it.
Yeah.
How much was it? Does it cost?
Now I have to remember. Now I gotta look things up.
Oh no.
Oh god. Now I gotta do Dungeon Master things.
How dare I make you look up things? I'm so sorry.
I was hoping it'd be just in the Delver's Guide since I already had it open. I have to grab a player's handbook instead. I think I said seven copper last time, but How is it every time I open the equipments page, I'm immediately at feats? Like, I have dividers in this book for, like, equipment and feats, and every time I pull the equipments divider, I'm straight to feats.
Oh,
Yeah, it'd be 7 copper. Per day.
7 copper? Per day?
Yes, since meat's a little more expensive.
Okay.
Due to the fact that it takes
Okay.
a little bit longer to produce.
Yeah. So that would be 98 copper for 2 weeks. Which is like a gold piece then.
Basically.
Pretty yeah. Alright, Fiona will go ahead and hand over a gold piece and then ask, how much would it take to get that delivered to my parents' house?
And it'll do for a silver.
Cool.
As
She
if-
will hand over a silver.
As some poor nobodies who are doing nothing get drafted into pulling and into delivering crates. They'll even drop it off at the barn if you instruct them to do that.
But I probably don't need to get close to the barn. She doesn't want to, do anything that could excite the hyenas.
That's fair.
At the front of her parents' house is fine.
Alright. And with that, come around midday. Supplies are acquired. The group is back together. Grigori, you have your leathers and chitin.
Yay!
And you smell like a tannery.
No,
Ew.
yay!
That is a
Oh,
scent
no!
that permeates everything.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm not gonna go in the wagon.
yeah. Thank you. so
Dori,
much. Yes? Prestidigitation?
can it make him stop smelling like that?
I think so. And Dory will start casting prestidigitation all over the place on him.
Dori, it takes about twice as long as normal.
Yeah.
When
You also are all you guys notice so you notice Lantern doing something towards the front of the wagon, and she while something obviously is cooking by the smell. You notice she goes and cleans her hands very thoroughly before she goes back over to stir at the pot and says cheerfully, "I'm making lunch."
Oh,
so we've remembered from
that
last
actually
time.
that reminds me, Lantern. I bought you a couple of things.
Ooh, what'd you get?
And Fiona will pull out the knives that never dull, and then it was
Ooh.
a cooking pan that doesn't rust, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The knives
Uh,
also won't rust either, but the most important detail is that they never dull.
Yeah. So these are
Lantern-
enchanted so that they never dull, Lantern. So you don't have to worry
Lantern's
about getting them
eyes
sharpened.
go very wide, and she inspects the knives very carefully, oohing and eyeing
They're sharp.
before carefully placing them down. And Fiona, you get hugged right around the waist because again, you're like 5 inches taller than Lantern, so
Fiona will pat her on the head and say, "This is thanks for doing all of the cooking for us. It can't be easy for a group this big, so thank you."
thank you very much. I was wondering what I was going to make eggs in, and now I know what I am going to make eggs in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she runs back into the wagon, and you hear what I would just describe as cooking noises and giggling. And eventually, you guys are served a lunch of what looks like little quiche type things, like little egg tarts, maybe with some sort of savory greens. You can smell onions and garlic in it.
Easily acquired
Ooh,
things here.
That's
Mhm.
delicious.
Right?
And
Okay.
she offers it to you, and it is only after you eat them that she informs you that they are stinging nettles. She knows how to prepare stinging nettles, so none of you are stung, But for city
Fiona
folks,
coughs a little bit from that. It's like, wait, what?
Fiona,
Oh, yeah, if you-
Fiona, you would know, and you were kind of upbringing that that's an edible. Dori and Bruno on the other paw might not.
No, Dory's like, it's a what?
it's a stinging nettle. If you touch it, it hurts really, really bad. But if you're careful when you're picking it, and then you blanch it with hot water and rinse it a few times with it could be hot water. I used hot water. Then it just sort of tastes delicious in a quiche.
Oh,
Which you will be able to tell if you eat it.
thank you, Lantern.
Okay.
Good.
You're always doing your best for us.
And
She
with
beams
that,
delightedly.
You guys have plenty of time to get moving if you so desire to depart today. To get to Mole Mill.
Lantern, after she cleans up from lunch, does still seem preoccupied with whatever she's working on in the front of the wagon, but
Basically,
she is not
days.
averse to leaving.
What are you making, Lantern?
Oh, I got a lot of poison ivy, and I'm trying to dry it out without touching it. So that's what all the paper is for. And I'm thinking I'm going to leave it near the forge so it dries out faster. Not so close that it burns, because then everyone would be inhaling poison ivy, and that would be really unpleasant. But I feel like the paper will keep it from falling into the fire. And if I put it so that it's getting some of the warmth, but not enough to light the paper on fire, it'll dry out faster without getting poison ivy stuff everywhere.
Right.
Huh.
Like I was
So
saying,
that's what the paper's for.
it's about 2 days travel to Mole Mill Well from where you currently are. As your next
Okay.
lead.
All
Okay,
right,
so
well,
we
we
get
should
there
have-
about August 8th or
Yes.
August 7th? August 8th, okay.
Yep.
Fiona will help get the jerky onto the wagon that she bought.
Lantern
Let
would
Lantern-
also like to, before we go, use her chef feet to make treats for Fiona's parents as thanks for letting us park here. That just takes an hour of time.
Okay. That's something you could do while the wagon is being driven. Oh, sorry, never mind. Fucking.
Yeah, that wouldn't really work
Never
because I'm
mind
doing
what I
it.
just said. Yes, you can do that before departing.
Fantastic. So they're given little tarts probably, and that's basically all of Lantern's preparations that she needs before leaving. You got 2 weeks of hyena food, right? I'm gonna update my inventory.
Yes.
We now have 22 days of hyena food.
Woohoo!
And 2 days travel.
And since it's jerky, I don't have to worry about it going bad.
That's the dream.
Usually.
You just feed them the older jerky first, that's all.
Yep. Okay, so 2 days travel to Mole Mill Well. The roads are okay despite previous rains, with moderate traffic.
Hey, Fiona, have you actually been to Mole Mill Well before?
I have not.
I was asking Fiona.
I think it depends on how close or where the
I will
monastery
leave
is located.
that to you, Fiona, whether or not you were there, whether or not you've ever been there at all in your time growing up.
It's only like 2 days travel, so maybe once or twice when helping to sell things, but not for a long period.
You probably went in for fairs.
Something like that.
Okay.
Or had some of them come over to Golden Tide for fairs.
Well,
Where is the monastery located? I know it's near Golden Tide, but I don't think it's just that location.
I never actually thought about that.
Neither
It
did
just
I.
kind of nebulously existed.
It's kind of just somewhere around Golden Tide.
I mean, there's this nice cliff, like a day's travel over here that it could be around, but
All right. We'll just
Okay.
say it's over there.
all right, right around over here. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Okay. That answers that question.
But now we know for the future.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay,
should also
okay.
state for the record that the sign is fully deployed and in its open state when we depart.
Okay, so you would know well enough that Mole Mill Well is a town as much as it is a giant hole in the ground.
Yeah. So it is a town, but it's also a giant ass hole.
Predominantly populated by Legonians, the well, 70 feet across, 20-foot wide spiral staircase along its outer wall. Emphasis on staircase.
Yep, I believe the hole goes to the Loam Link.
That would be correct.
Fiona would explain.
What's that?
Yeah.
I've never been in it myself, but I think it's like these giant series of underground tunnels that's used mostly by the moles and the armadillos.
Oh, that sounds very practical. I like that. There should be more tunnels that lead to places.
Well-
Functionally, it's its own independent operation from basically everywhere else.
It's its whole own thing.
Well,
That's about all I know about it.
And its own whole thing.
that was terrible. In turn.
Ugh.
Everyone takes. Now, mind you, this is the players. Everyone takes D4 psychic damage.
Well, we might have to go down into it if my sister and her brethren friends went there.
Ooh, I can give you guys tunnel tips. But it might be a fancier tunnel that I'm used to, and there might be different rules for it. So maybe just basic tunnel tips.
Well, I assume it's fairly well managed since it's very highly traversed.
Yeah, hopefully if they are going down there, we'll get a better idea of where the heck they're headed, at least.
Yeah.
All right. Onwards to the hole.
Woohoo!
Okay. 2 days travel, and gradually you're arriving to Mole Mill Well. Now, things seem a little busy for a small town of this.
There's a lot of guys here.
And as you're approaching, one of the big things you're stopped by is a group of armadillo guards. These guys holding specifically the banner of Mole Mill Well. Or the Lone Lake itself.
Are they stopping us? Like,
it seems to be standard procedure stoppings.
okay, they're stopping everybody. It's a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Lantern's
Okay, cool.
Lantern's going to take the example of whoever is in front of her vis-a-vis where to pull over and stuff.
As one of the most quickest things to come to note, Lantern, as you're pulling over, and anybody else who's looking out the window at this guy who's kind of heading the guard group.
Mhm.
He's wearing a very peculiar helmet. Peculiar in that it seems to be made from the head of one of your Blade Link companions that you've been finding frequently.
Ooh.
Well, this
Huh.
guard gets greeted with, "Hello, Mr. Sir. You have a very cool hat."
Yeah, it's more a trophy than anything else, I suppose you could say.
I didn't
Oh,
know you
yeah,
could
they're
turn
hard
those
to
things
kill.
into hats.
2 people at once there.
Unsurprising.
Lantern said, "Oh yeah, they're hard to kill."
And Fiona would say, I didn't even know you could turn them into hats.
You could carve out the head of most anything, really, but
Yeah, no, those things have been popping up in the middle of travel roads.
yeah, you think that's bad. Those things live underground.
Oh, I
noticed.
hadn't thought about
Yes.
that.
Oh my.
You wouldn't.
That's a big problem here, huh?
Oh wow, my
Yes, Vellos?
yeah, my connection froze there for a second.
exciting.
That was
Anyways, yeah, sorry for stopping you, but you wouldn't have any Delvers or Dungeon Brigade? Either one, really?
Delvers.
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 Would you be
Delvers.
willing to help us out real quick on the thing?
We love helping out real quick on things. What kind of thing do you need help on with?
One of the things, they got a nest kind of underground, kind of near the well. That's little concerningly close.
Oh,
those
help
things?
killing them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if you can tell us where it is and where we can park, I don't have any problem with that.
You can park. You can come in and park just somewhere around there. We've been and then you can talk to the guard captain. He'll be in the guardhouse.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
with those
no.
directions, he goes
As-
over. What was that?
As she starts pulling the cart over their lantern, and I would like to remind everyone that we have a wagon pulled by hyenas the size of draft horses, says a little bit smugly, I bet they knew we were Delvers because of the sign.
Yes, I'm sure that's why.
I'm sure that was all of it. Yes.
Shoulders extra high as she pulls the cart towards
As
the...
the guard goes with some other guards to stop more wagons, you're getting the idea they're looking for anybody with a fighting force to them.
Yeah.
I mean, after
Well,
looking for this much help, it must be a pretty big infestation they got here.
Yeah. Doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, more than eager to take care of that, even if it does delay us.
Well, yeah, because they're going to eat anybody.
You know, we might want to ask.
As you park outside the as you park in the designated area, and they're getting out.
We might want to ask one of these people if they've seen your sister.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Really hope she didn't get caught up in this mess.
I don't know, is your sister capable of fighting?
Well,
Because they seem to be asking mostly for the people who can fight. Or look like they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, they don't seem to be just.
well,
Pulling
she knows,
civvies.
she knows enough to defend herself. Mom made sure that all of us were able to hold our own when we needed it. But it was never her favorite thing, like it was mine.
Real quick, Vellos,
Okay.
was she trained in melee or spellcast?
Uh,
Or I should say martial weapons or spellcasting.
would have. Would have been a bit of a mix. I kind of implied in Melissa's backstory that his that their mother was kind of along the lines of a swords bard,
Okay, so spellblade.
pretty much.
Okay, just wanted to ask. Nothing of consequence there. Carrying on as you make your way to the guardhouse.
Yeah, that's not concerning at all.
No, not at all.
Okay.
She's probably going to be in there.
That's up.
Anyways,
Lantern does get the hyenas situated with food and water before we head off to the guardhouse.
It's a little bit of a line to get in before you're able to get in.
Then I think Lantern's probably going to let the rest of the group go ahead and join them after she's fed and watered the hyenas.
That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, makes sense.
As you seem to be 4 crews in line, gradually making your way along. As you're standing around in line, though, if anybody wants to, give me a perception check. Anybody?
I'd love to give a perception check.
Oh,
Then you win. Well, Lantern, you could also give me one.
Vellos is
Ooh.
kind of on high alert right now, so
Okay,
Yeah.
so that'll be 2.
What's Vellos' perception again?
he's got a +4.
Okay.
That's just a 10 from Lantern.
So yeah, that's one from Lantern. Somebody else can give me one.
Vellos can do it, or if you don't want
Yeah.
to, I can do it. 'Cause I also have a +4.
13.
Lantern, something's amiss from where you're sitting. You can't quite put your finger on it.
Do I have any insight into the nature of it, or just that something's funky?
Something's funky.
Okay. I'm going to keep an eye out, but not actually know what I'm keeping an eye out for then.
Vellos, you're looking at the Delvers in front of you, the crew that just left the guardhouse. You turn back at the crew behind you. Where's the Dungeon Brigade? Is a question that starts to float to your head.
Wait. Hey, Fiona.
Yeah?
Something that seems like it's this big. Wouldn't this be something the Dungeon Brigade would be involved with?
Mm, you would
That's
think so.
real logical.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing any of them.
Oh, this isn't good.
Once he says it, is that also what I was noticing?
You're not close enough to hear the commentary.
Gotcha.
Would Fiona know anything about why the Dungeon Brigade wouldn't be at Mobile Well?
Not off the top of your head, no. But you are
No.
next in line to get into the guardhouse to talk to the guard captain.
Okay.
As this is a... I know a proper guardhouse is like this tiny, small thing, but this is an actual, like, large... I guess guard barracks would make more sense with an attached office.
Alright.
That's what I mean to say, but I keep saying guardhouse even though that's not what it is.
Fair.
Okay.
But just to paint the proper mental picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
as you are soon, after several minutes of waiting and perhaps Lantern now joining your group, you are called inside by a as you come inside, there is a overly stressed looking mole overlooking complex series of maps.
Am I able to discern anything from them?
You're able to discern its lone link maps, which brings you the gradual horrifying realization that these are 2D maps. They're for charting 3D travel.
Oh. Oh, that's complicated. It's very interesting.
You get used to it.
Ooh.
Delver crew or Dungeon Brigade?
Delver crew.
Delver crew.
Um,
Where is the Dungeon Brigade?
Would love to know that myself.
Oh, that's not good.
no, that really isn't good.
Yeah, no.
So,
Our
what's the
elements-
situation?
Our elements in guard stationed with us would like to know where they are as well. All he can do is send out letters of frustration.
Well, if we see any, we'll tell him to go talk to you immediately.
Yeah. As for the situation, well, it's a mess.
Yeah, anything
We're-
involving these creatures tends to become one.
We're
Very
paying.
quickly.
We are paying since we've noticed these things seem to lack treasure.
Yeah, they kind of destroy everything when they invade a dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As if the dungeons weren't bad enough as is.
Right? One infested with those things, you don't even get proper payment out of it.
Like I said, we'll be paying. So
Okay.
We appreciate that.
So we've got a few crews already sent on down below, but we still have a few other spots that are unnervingly close to some of the Lone Link's trade routes that kind of go through Mole Mill. If you'd be willing to head
Okay.
underground to deal with one.
Sure.
Yeah, we can
Alright.
do that.
While we're here talking to people, we were actually on the trail of a young silver dragon woman. Do you know
Young
if
silver
she's
dragon?
been through?
She would
Yeah,
have
she
been
was traveling with a group of
brethren.
Yeah, I got a report on that. They were here. They were picking up some packages, and then. Hang on. You may benefit from looking around, asking around town. I just know they were here for a couple of days. They did They did travel through here. I know that the Silver Dragon was involved with something of a scrape with some of those creatures that came up.
She what?
I mean, any able-bodied blade and spell was called.
Okay, that's...
Most people came out of that unscratched.
That's
If you have a problem with that, you'll have a problem with me.
No, I'm just worried.
now. Is she still down there, or
No,
did she?
like I said, this was
go
a
on her way?
surface issue. They came up out of the ground.
Okay,
Right.
so they've done their thing and they've left.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
well,
Well,
you can stop worrying about her.
Her group clearly weren't even Delvers. I wasn't going to ask them to go do something stupid when they're a bunch of performers. Honestly, I was surprised she was as competent as a spellcaster.
They're performing.
Well, yeah, they all had musical instruments.
I
Okay,
thought so. Okay.
I'm not sure where they were headed. You might benefit from asking around town a little bit, but
Will do. Thank you.
Yep.
as he
Thank you.
pulls out a more localized map of the Lone Link and slides it over, along with 3 more maps.
Fiona will readily handle those.
Fiona, you're realizing he accidentally handed you a duplicate of one of the maps as you're kind of
This one's
Oh, sorry.
it's all right.
Sorry for
You're
blowing
busy.
your ears out, Dori.
Fiona, once you're dealt with the duplicate, you're realizing he's handed you a circled area with a nest, and as you're looking through things, it's another 3D map.
It's my first time seeing one of these. Give me a brief explanation on how to read this properly, please.
Okay, so you want to approach all 3 of these maps like you would read a regular surface map. Though instead of just jagged lines for topography, this map gives you an idea of the tunnels going up and down. This one gives you an idea of tunnels going side to side, going level. And this one here is a tracking for water tables. I doubt you guys are going to be doing much digging, but just in case.
All right. So these are kind of stacked on top of each other. Each one is a different level, or
Kind of. It's easier once you get used to it, but you'll just have to get over to this circled area. Thankfully for you guys, you have a clear path through here. He kind of draws a finger through here. We don't know how the inside is structured. Couldn't tell you.
yeah, no, those things change things rapidly
Yeah,
with their own
they're
shit.
tunnelers.
I mean, it is their own tunnels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And anything that they get into that's not their tunnels, they quickly make their tunnels.
so you guys dismissed. Get that taken care of
Yep.
as quickly as possible, and we'll talk. So you got situated afterwards.
Will do.
Yeah.
Fiona nods her head and, using the map, guides the group.
Lantern, if she gets a look at it, may offer insight of some sort because while she doesn't know much about maps, she does know how to navigate tunnels. But whether or not anybody gains anything from her advice is questionable at best.
Yeah. So, with that, you do have a chance to look around town at the moment, as they seem to be, tensions seem to be a little high around War Mill.
Yeah, probably not gonna spend too much time. But
Oh yeah, this is seeming urgent.
But Vellos
Yeah.
does want to ask around a bit at least to see if he can get an idea where Ilana's group went.
So you
Yeah, we can ask people on our way.
give me perception and a persuasion check. Oh, I would like both, as you're moving kind of towards or through town towards the large staircase.
Same people doing them? Or
Anyone really?
I'll do the persuasion.
Okay. I'll do perception again, I guess.
Sure.
Fiona is too busy getting used to maps to help ask about his sister.
And Lantern is too busy pointing at the maps and saying incredibly helpful things like, see, that looks like maybe there was a tunnel there, but it got collapsed at some point because of the layer below it. That makes sense.
Nice
Those
rolls,
are-
guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
those
Yeah,
are really
really.
good ones.
So, Dori, your asking around is yielding some surprising. You're hearing that a lot of people are actually talking about this group with interest. And between that and Vellos, as you're looking around, you kind of stop in front of a poster with 3 humans holding broken rolled instruments, and among them is a dragoness, no instrument, just arms crossed, she has a black X painted over her face where the X does cover over her eyes. And all of them are wearing kind of scrappy, like, I guess for the players themselves, the best way I could describe it is, y'all familiar with Kiss?
Yes.
How they
Yeah.
would dress?
I was just thinking, did she join a punk rock band or
She
something?
joined a glam metal band, it sounds like.
Yeah, glam metal, not
that's-
punk.
That's kind of how they were dressed, a little spikier.
Oh my.
As you slowly look over the poster, it's a couple of weeks, it's like 3 or 4 weeks from now, but there's a listed event in Patry.
Well, I guess we
With a
need to head
band,
to Patry.
with a band called the Skull Splitters, lead singer called Ironclad.
Skull Splitters.
Vellos just stops staring at this for a good minute or two, just processing.
It takes you
As
a
soon as-
second to realize who you're looking at on that poster.
As soon as Vellos stops, Lantern immediately looks for what he's looking at.
It doesn't take long to spot this poster.
I would like to inform the group at large that while she's not going to do it while we are all still looking at it, that poster is coming with Lantern.
It's glued to the wall.
I don't
Lantern.
I don't think that's going to stop her.
Oh, what the hell?
Well,
I think we found
at
your
least
sister.
we can find her.
Yeah,
It says where she's going to be.
And when?
I need to make another sending stone message while we're traveling to that nest.
Yes, I would say so.
The Black Roost Amphitheater in Patry. Looks to be some kind of musical concert.
Lantern would like to take the poster with us, both because it has the name and date written on it, and also because she wants it very badly because that's an incredibly cool picture of a dragon.
It is not coming down without you destroying it. It is, like I said, poster glued on.
Dori, can you take a picture of that picture?
Yes.
No, we're
And she will do the stagecraft.
We're essentially
photograph.
photographing a photocopy. Well, no, this one's more complex. This is like a project image that was made onto an image.
I'm assuming it looks like a lot of overhead transparencies that I saw in my elementary school days in terms of quality, which is to say it looks like a photocopy of a photocopy.
No, this one looks like somebody used a more
You said 3 weeks,
advanced
right?
form of the stagecraft spell to get a proper image onto the poster and then proceeded to paint over.
I'm so sorry. I mean the copy that Dori is making is
Oh,
going to
yes.
look like it's been microwaved.
Oh, definitely. And the writing's not coming with.
No,
No.
it doesn't matter if the writing's coming with. Lantern can read words anywhere. She wants a cool picture of a dragon dressed in cool clothes.
There you go.
You said it was in 3 weeks, right?
Thereabouts. And you know Path 3 is closer than that.
And Dori will
3-4
actually
weeks.
take 2 pictures.
Patry would only take maybe about 4 or 5 days to get to from here, right?
Yeah. So you have about a month's time.
I've added one sick poster of the band, the Skull Splitters, that looks like it's been through a deep fryer.
Yeah.
You said she changed her name to Ironsides or something?
Ironclad.
Iron...
That's a really cool name.
It's a stage name.
Like, her name is a normal name, and it's very pretty and also nice, but that's a really cool name, Vellos.
Yeah, it's a stage name. She hasn't necessarily changed her name entirely. She's just using a name on the stage. She might have changed her name. We don't know, but
I've got some stuff to work out on those bladelings now.
well, then you've got
Look, the things
You're
you
doing
need to
the
work
perfect
out,
thing.
the bladelings are not qualified to help you with.
For instance, Lantern excitedly bundling up the poster of your sister's glam metal band, muttering something to herself about how this is going to look so good when all the plan comes together.
True, but he can distract himself by taking it out on the bladelings.
Guess who's so qualified in that?
Zeke's going to get the following message. Figured out what happened. Lana joined a Brethren band. Scheduled to play in Patry in 3 weeks. Her stage name is Ironclad.
There is a very long pause before you receive a singular word. What? I cannot do justice to the amount of confusion that is in that what.
What?
And Vellos just, while they're traveling, you just hear cackling as Vellos just breaks down laughing in the way.
This isn't an alarmed one. This is still processing and is going to continue to process for the rest of the week. What?
Well, hey, hopefully he's able to get himself to Patry with that information. You certainly gave it to him in time.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, this is going to be one hell of a reunion.
It's going to be interesting.
For sure.
I don't even know how our folks would react to this. I really don't.
Do you think they're playing normal music or Weird Brethren music?
I have
Probably
no idea.
Weird Brethren. Probably Brethren music.
Oh, I hope we get to hear some.
That'd be cool.
That would be so cool!
Well, we can...
Maybe I can learn how to play some of their music.
Well, once we take care of this crisis, we have plenty of time to head to Patry.
Well, maybe maybe it's not just the one day. Maybe there's like all kinds of bands and, it's like a big festival or something.
Red, blue.
You should be careful with talking about festivals because the more you talk about exciting musical things that could be... Lantern's going to vibrate through the floor from excitement. I'm just saying, watch out.
Dori's starting to vibrate.
Well, at least she won't be alone when she falls into a cavern then.
With your 2 living excavators walking beside you, you soon find yourself standing to the entrance of the Mole Mill Well. Spiral stairs heading down into its eventually torchlit walls. The stairwell itself is not smooth. There is, to the sides, active businesses built into the walls.
Now,
Guard patrols have basically been tripled up. And yes, there's a functional guardrail along the interior side of the stairs to keep people from falling into the pit.
Is this something where we can take the wagon with us, or do we leave the wagon up? Okay.
Gotta walk.
Just making sure.
There's also a very blatant sign. There's also very pointed signage with dragons and bats with a huge cross out through it standing over the pit.
Yeah, Vellos sees that and starts whistling innocently definitely hadn't crossed his mind that the thought, I wonder what it would be like to fly over this thing. Definitely hadn't crossed his mind. It totally did.
Yeah.
You will be fined.
Yeah, if we get fined, it's coming out of your portion of the upcoming Bladeling slaughter. There,
Yeah.
Vellos.
Well, I'm not going to do it.
Especially now.
Letting you know.
Oh,
And with that, a few minutes early, but why don't we call it into the session here? And we'll get into
All right.
action next week.
Okay.
Action,
works for
action,
everyone else?
action. It does.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, that works for me. Oh.
Good job, everyone. We figured out what's going on with Lana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. This was a direction I was not expecting.
I had absolutely not thought she joined a metal band, and that's fucking great.
Yeah, it is.
I, as the player, love it. Vellos is confused as shit.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll see you all next week.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds
Once
like
again,
a plan.
Fiona will be faced with the conundrum: do I wear my brethren shirt?